Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Cancer energy. And the first card we got out isn't showing itself, and the reason it came out is because of the Temperance card. So, people in the world could harness this energy in a different way in their Cancer energy. The Divine's trying to work with all of us to help us balance out our emotions and trying to inspire people to look at life as an adventure to be lived. Not everything works out the way we want. Take the lessons you're meant to learn from that life experience, and keep moving forward in life. What is the card? The King of Cups. So I do view the King of Cups as Cancer energy. Some people right now, a more shadowy King of Cups. The Kings can represent how we're presenting ourselves in the world and how we're presenting ourselves and how we're taking action in the world. It can mean in a more shadowy way that people are operating a little bit more from their ego. And those of you who have already been in relationships with people who you kind of think wear a false mask, whether they're male or female, they present themselves as like a loving person or a loving family person. But maybe as time went by, the Temperance card again is about Sagittarius energy, about higher learning and education. You kind of realize that some people kind of weren't who they said they were. Why? Because you were patient with them, is what the Temperance card talks about. I was being patient, I was being loving, and I just didn't feel like they were authentically loving. If you're authentically loving, you're inspired and motivated by love, and you treat people with love, and you freely give love of yourself. Other people like to present themselves as loving, but it's more like to talk like love, quack like love, but they don't really authentically give of themselves. But they could think, well, but if I act like I'm loving to you, and when we go out in the world, I present myself as loving, but it's like, but you're not like authentically motivated and inspired by love. People could live more from their mind than their heart, and they just present themselves as loving, but it's more maybe to indulge themselves in a relationship, shadowy fire sign energy, to get people to get in a relationship with them, to stay in a relationship with them, to move forward in a relationship with them. But motivated more by their own self-interest or something else. Like, I just want to be in a relationship, or it's good for my ego and my image, or I want to have sex with someone. But it's not really motivated and inspired by love. So the high vibe people have cut those type of people out of their life. And they've also learned how when they were kind of more inspired by the world and their ego, that then they could have been drawn and attracted to people who are more inspired by their fiery nature, by their ego nature. And high vibe people, it's like, I have a dream and I learned the lessons I was meant to learn from that. And there's certain people that you are not, with the card not showing itself, you are not taking action towards some people and offering them love anymore. Like, I wish you peace, love, and joy, but I'm moving on. And some of those people that you're no longer investing in, those people could have wanted you to keep being patient, balancing out your emotions, being in a relationship with them. And you're like, I'm done. I offer people truth and love, and I'm encouraging. And eventually, if they don't want to be more authentic and loving and move forward with me, inspired by love, then I wish you peace. We're kind of on different pages of what drives and motivates us. And I'm not going to keep offering my cup of love to people who are more motivated and inspired to wear a false mask. And so, we get in these jobs, friendships, and relationships with people. We kind of find out that what drives and motivates us is different, that we're kind of on different pages, and we all kind of like to work with people who are kind of more on the same page as us. But we can all have to balance out our emotions about that some relationships with people didn't work out the way we wanted. then it's just, are we willing to deal with the truth of it? Higher learning and education. Are we willing to see where I needed to heal or grow and mature myself, that I could have been more immature, I could have been operating more from my ego, that then I could have gotten in relationships with people who are maybe more immature and operating from their ego, to different degrees possibly, but if we really want someone who's more on the same page as us, we kind of have to quit indulging poor behavior in other people and look for people who really are more authentic or loving or seem to have learned the same lessons we have, and get in relationships with people like that instead of hoping like other people will change, right? So what is some more to do with this story? The Knight of Swords, and the reason is because of the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is Cancer energy, and we can be sad, but the Knight of Swords is everybody has their truth. The King and Queen of Swords send the Knight of Swords, and the King and Queen of Swords are about what people think is just and fair, their idea of the dream life, how they view life, and our ideas of the dream life and how we view life and what we think is just and fair is different. Our truth is different, and everybody can be kind of sad about it, that we weren't really on the same page. And everybody can be trying to balance out their emotions about the fact that some of the people in their life that they kind of wanted or thought they were on the same page with, that they thought they could work things out with, that the way they thought was just and fair, they thought other people would think was just and fair. And there's some people in our life that isn't the case, right? And so then high vibe people take that cup of love to stand up for what they think is just and fair. And what some other people could be standing up for is that I don't ever take that cup of love. And they could be people that use their emotions more manipulatively in a relationship. In the Knight of Swords, the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords, air sign energy of the mind, they could feel the more safe route is for them to live more from their mind than their heart. And I kind of wear a false mask. It's kind of a social construct I create, living more from my mind than my heart. But I haven't maybe learned to love myself. So I do use my emotions more manipulatively, and maybe my sexuality more manipulatively, and maybe I think sex is love, and maybe I don't want a deep, meaningful relationship, and maybe I'm good with that if I just have someone to have sex with. And other people, they want more than that, you know? I want a relationship based on truth and justice and fairness and love. And other people are defensive to doing that. They get hurt doing love, and so some people won't do it. So I think everybody's kind of communicating with other people that, you know, they might want to have new beginnings, but again, some people are being truthful and honest and authentic and loving. Other people kind of might tell people they want to be in a relationship, like they're willing to bring the dream into reality based on love, but not so much really based on love. More like, this seems practical and logical, this seems just and fair, you seem maybe sad, I'll get in a relationship with you because you're sad. Maybe you'll just balance out your emotions about being in a relationship with me when you find out I live more from my mind than my heart. And if the high vibe people have already been in relationships with people like that, and it's like, no, I have through this whole experience learned to love myself, and I'm standing up for what I believe in. And if there's people who I meet as I'm moving forward that are in that more shadowy energy, you know, I gotta know all sorts of people in my life, in my job, in my family, in my social environment. I'm standing up for what I believe in. You can stand up for what you believe in. And I'll listen to my intuition about who seems to be more on the same page as me and who doesn't. And I'm not willing to just settle like for less than I deserve anymore. What else is coming up in the story? We have the Three of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Why? because of the Two of Cups. So the Three of Wands can talk about, I have a dream. And I am willing to take this inspired action to bring my dream into reality. And everybody is going to take that action in their Two of Cups Cancer energy, which, with us having our dualistic nature, some people are aligned with and kind of love being more about themselves and the world. That's their truth. They're going to go try to find people in the world who are maybe motivated and inspired by those same things. And the other people are in their free will, more motivated and inspired by love. And they're going to communicate and go take action in the world to invest their lifetime, energy, and effort into people who they think are more aligned with love. We all have our idea of what the dream life and dream relationship is, and some people, it has to be more about them. Or it has to be more about getting this justice and fairness in the world based on money or status or image or power, you know? And other people have learned, you know, it's more about a balance. Do I want these things of the world? Yes. Am I willing to sacrifice love to have those things? No. Am I willing to be in more superficial, shallow relationships to have those things? No. Am I willing to be in relationships with people who are more bossy and controlling and egotistical and self-centered? No. And I'm going to keep offering myself that cup of love to keep believing in my dreams, and those people that are in more shadowy, worldly energy can go get in a relationship with someone else. And as some of you are getting out of one relationship or are going through that, you could communicate with people in your world who you do think harness this energy in the same way as you. It's just that when you get out of one situation, say you're going and looking for a new job, a new friend, a new relationship, right? Some of those people could be sad because it's like, well, when you were doing whatever you were doing over here and learning lessons in life, you know, some people hired someone else for that job, gotten a new friendship, gotten a new romantic relationship. Some of those people could be sad because, gee, I would have thought it would have been just and fair to be in a relationship with you. But I already got in a relationship. You know, I already hired someone for that job. And, you know, then those people have to think about, well, why am I moving forward in the way I'm moving forward? What about the people I'm moving forward with? Am I in relationships with people who are more defensive and bossy and more superficial and shallow? Am I that type of person? You know, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why are the people I'm in relationship doing what they're doing? And it could make everybody kind of think about what their truth is and what really kind of drives and motivates them and what their dreams are. And even when one relationship doesn't work out and we kind of could go get in a new relationship, which some people have done and are doing, you know, sometimes during the course of that relationship, you know, again, we come in contact with all these different people to help us get clear about what our truth is and our truth isn't. And by getting in relationships with these other people and finding out kind of what drives and motivates them, we come to find out if we think we're on the same page with them or not, you know? Okay, now we have a card not showing itself, and the reason it came out is because of the Six of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. What is the card? The Ten of Wands. So, the Ten of Wands is also Sagittarius energy. Some people could be hiding that they are overwhelmed, that they could have gotten out of one situation for, you know, someone ended the relationship with them, they ended the relationship, the job didn't work out, something. Could have gotten in new relationships. They could be hiding that they're overwhelmed. They could have had a dream of love, but now they could be in a more transactional relationship or in a relationship because they don't like being single. Could be in a relationship maybe more out of status or ego or image. Could even be in relationships with people they're not attracted to, in the Ten of Wands being fire sign energy. But some people are like, you know, love is the fantasy. And I get hurt doing love. I don't want to do love. The most important thing that I think is just and fair is I want to look like a boss in the world. I want to look like I have what other people have, but could be a little more driven by money and materialism. So they didn't kind of close out a cycle. The nines and the tens can talk about closing out a cycle where we learn lessons in life and we do get more balance within ourselves and we are more independent and we have learned these lessons in life. But some people, you can want to stay in denial of the truth. Some people are defensive to believing in love and believing their dreams can come into reality, or believing in themselves, and they could be in more codependent energy, and they could have a harsh critical inner voice, and they haven't learned to love themselves. So they could get in relationships with people because those people made them an offer and said, you should get in a relationship with me and your dreams will come into reality with me. But then as they move forward with those people, maybe it's not very creative or inspired. If a relationship is more based on truth than love, it does have that spark of life to it. It is inspired. But some people kind of gave up and aren't aligned with that, and they're more, we should be practical. This makes logical, practical sense. You were sad, a relationship didn't work out. I was sad, a relationship didn't work out. I could have been attracted to you, and everybody could have even been attracted to each other, possibly. But then maybe as time has gone by, maybe people quit putting work and effort to heal and grow and mature themselves, and they just kind of got more complacent and could stay in a relationship more because I have a job, I have a friend, I'm in a relationship. Sometimes there's some people, quite shadowy people, who they like to be the boss of other people. And if you're not willing to indulge me in my ego, well, I'll show you I'm the boss and I will go get in a relationship with someone else. And even if I'm not attracted to those people, even if it's just to prove like I'm the boss and hoping other people will be sad. Like if you don't do it the way I want you to do it, I hope to write the story of your life. And I want you to kind of, because of this whole experience, to not stand up for yourself and love yourself and keep believing in your dreams. And I want you to quit being inspired. And I want you to live your life more like I live my life and get in a more transactional relationship just because you're single and maybe hiding that you're overwhelmed. Because that can be what they do. But that's not what high vibe people do. High vibe people, would they like to be in a new relationship? Yes. But I need to balance out my emotions about this past situation. I don't want to go get in a relationship just because I'm sad, just because I'm defensive. I don't want to go get in a relationship with someone more out of stability or security or codependency, or because I'm hiding, I'm overwhelmed. I want to work through all of that. And I want to get to the truth because the truth is going to set me free. And though I could be sad, I have to deal with the truth that some of the people in my life maybe aren't who I thought they were more about themselves, were more codependent, want me to be more codependent, were more driven and motivated by materialism. Some people are very materialistically driven and they're hiding from the world that really is what drives and motivates them. And that could have been why you got out of relationships with some people. And you did this work to get balanced within yourself and to love yourself, to not give up on your dreams. I still have my dream. I just realized who isn't on the same page as me. And as I'm moving forward and I'm communicating with people in the world, that I do have this dream that I have learned these lessons in life, that I have put in the work and effort to get more balance within myself and know my worth and value, and have grown myself up to not be in more immature energy. And I'm doing this work to close out a cycle in my life to give birth to this new beginning in truth and love and justice and fairness. There's going to be some people in your life that are inspired by that, and they're doing this work within themselves to quit being more motivated by themselves and the world, and to get more balance within themselves and know their worth and value, to move forward with you in that way. And there's going to be other people that, either because they're in those type of relationships with other people, they're going to keep moving forward with those people, and they're not being more immature. They are going to keep putting in work and effort to move forward with the people in their life that work together with them in that energy. And there's going to be other people who are mad because you weren't willing to indulge them, and you did love and believe in yourself and know your worth and value. Let's go see what's coming up as what could be a possible outcome for people depending on if they harness a more high vibrational Cancer energy or not. We have the Eight of Cups. Why? Because of the truth. So the Eight of Cups talks about taking that cup of love to work through the emotional confusion of things in your past. And how did you do that? By offering truth and love to it. I offer truth and love to the situation to see everybody is where they're at. Everybody is driven and motivated by what they're driven and motivated by. Some people more by themselves, some people more by the world. Some people's dream was different than my dream. People were in love with other people. Okay, I just deal with the truth of it. And my dream can only come into reality with people who are kind of on the same page at the same time as me. And you're looking for people. 2 4 of Cups would make the 8 of Cups. I have learned to stand up for myself, get balance within myself, love myself, believe in my dreams, and take that cup of love to take action inspired by truth and love. I've let go of my more immature nature. I have learned these lessons. I've completed a cycle. I'm no longer overwhelmed about these things of the past. And I am independent of it. And I am ready to emotionally be independent and go on this new journey and have this new beginning. And the people I want to move forward with are the people who've also done that work within themselves. And as you're moving forward in this way, if other people communicate to you that, some relationship they were in didn't work out, and your intuition is telling you, you might be someone, needless, who kind of can be a very loving, nurturing person. You might, not lead with that. You can be loving and nurturing and supportive and encouraging, but maintaining balance within yourself, that I have to find out, what drives and motivates people. What is it, I don't want to repeat this old pattern. And if, as I get to know someone and I can offer them a cup of love, not getting in a more involved relationship with them, just offering them a cup of love to get to know them. The Wands can talk about communication. The Pentacles can be about getting to know each other, find out what drives and motivates people, what their aspirations are. Because I don't want to get in another relationship with someone who's hiding in a shadowy Sagittarius energy, a more immature Sagittarius energy, that they just want to indulge themselves in a relationship. I've already been in relationships with people who just want to indulge themselves in a relationship. Or people who have a lot of things that overwhelm them, and they're just looking, they could have been in relationships with other people who wanted them to take more responsibility, and when they make decisions in their life, to not just make them based on themselves, but take other people who are affected by their decisions into account. And they could have found that all overwhelming, and they just want to be single and start all over fresh and new with someone else and repeat this whole cycle until that person realizes this person doesn't really like to, lacks good boundaries within themselves, isn't willing to kind of stand up and defend the relationship, isn't being more authentic, isn't moving the relationship forward. And it is just kind of to indulge himself in it. And you'll listen to your intuition about those people, and the people that you think are kind of in that energy, you're not going to let it overwhelm you. It's like, I have learned to maintain balance within myself, which is what the Six of Cups can talk about. And in your King of Swords energy, you have learned to love yourself, also to maintain balance within yourself, and to know your worth and value. And there can be people who would like to indulge in a relationship with me just to indulge himself. And no, I'm more independent than that and know my worth and value, and I have a dream. And if you want to indulge yourself with someone, you'll have to go find someone else who you think is sad, who hasn't learned to love themselves, that might be in a relationship with you more just to be in a relationship. You know, and they've got their own lessons to learn from people like that. But I've already been in relationships with people like that, and I don't want to be in relationships with people like that. And what some people don't know about you, with the Ten of Wands not showing itself, is you're not overwhelmed. When some other people are single, they're really overwhelmed. You know? They really want to be in a relationship, maybe just to be in a relationship, to make themselves feel better. But you've done this work within yourself to stay more focused on loving and believing in yourself, being nurturing and supportive with yourself, with the friends and family and people and work in your life. I have a dream, and I'm not hiding I'm overwhelmed, but other people might think you are. And so then they think, oh, I'll like present myself as a certain type of person. I bet they're overwhelmed. I bet they'll indulge me in a relationship. And those people are going to see the truth that you're more independent and stable and grounded and balanced than they thought you were. And you're going to reject people who think they can overwhelm you by being manipulative or not being in a relationship with you or distancing themselves from you. It's like, all I see is that you're not being very, maybe just or fair or loving. You know, if I was offering truth and love and you're not willing to work cooperatively with me from love, I don't have to understand what drives and motivates you. If you're not willing to tell me, then I assume it's something, you've got to work through on your own. And I'll wish you peace and love, and I will keep moving on. And then some of those people are hiding, they're overwhelmed because they might have wanted to be in a relationship with you. But we have free will in a relationship to either be truthful and honest and authentic and work together in a just and fair and balanced way. Or we can have an idea. I know, I don't want to do that. I know I won't offer them love. I will turn my back on them. I will distance myself from them. I bet they'll be overwhelmed, and then they'll maybe shadowy Sagittarius energy that we have here at the beginning and the end would chase after me because they love me or they want to be in a relationship with me, and I don't want to do it in a just and fair way. I want to be able to maybe manipulate them or have them in overwhelmed, competitive, shadowy energy and indulge me. And you see the truth of it. People who are motivated and inspired to work together with me in a just and fair manner, being more independent of their more immature, shadowy way or manipulative way or egotistical way, would be inspired to do that. And if not, I wish you peace to go live your life however you want to go live it. But I'm moving forward with the people in my life who do work together with me in that way, that have learned to take that couple love, to believe in their dreams, to do equal give and take, respect each other as independent individuals, And we work cooperatively to be loving and encouraging of each other to bring your dreams into reality. And some people don't like that because you're just more independent. And they are either more about the world or more about themselves. And they will probably try to go find someone else who is more overwhelmed to try to get that person in a relationship. But as time goes by in those relationships, those people could put a lot of work and effort to try to bring this dream into reality. And eventually they see the dream isn't coming into reality. I think this is maybe why some other people left. And some of those people might quit putting in the work and effort. And they'll leave too. And then these people are like, well, why don't these people want to exchange resources with me in a relationship? I'm attractive, I'm charming, I have money, I have status, I have image, whatever they got. Whatever it is they think they got. But again, it could be more, it's kind of more superficial and shallow. And it's not like a deep, meaningful, inspiring, loving relationship. What's coming up for some of these people who harness a more worldly, shadowy energy? The Five of Swords. Why? Because of the Nine of Swords and the King of Pentacles. The shadowy people do live more from their mind than their heart, and they're really either wanting to be in a relationship, just to be in a relationship, maybe the Five of Swords, can mean they have mental conflict. Again, it could be the Five of Swords is Aquarius energy, like I want to look like a shining star in the world. And I want to look like I have justice. I want to look like I have what other people have. But because they're so live more from their mind than their heart, they're just not seeing the truth. They keep taking action more out of, I want these things more maybe for them than to really offer love to people, to work cooperatively with people, to do equal give and take, to respect that the other people are their own individual and that they have their own dreams and aspirations, and that it shouldn't be all about them. It's supposed to be about equal give and take. And some people really got mental conflict with that. They're really stressed out about the truth of seeing that it's supposed to be about love and being more independent, letting other people be more independent. Because they're not very independent. They're either, again, the world manipulates them, other people in their life manipulate them, their more egoic, shadowy nature kind of is the boss of them, and they would have to work through all of why they let their more shadowy nature, the world, other people in their life kind of manipulate them. High vibe energy, and I view the King of Pentacles as Capricorn energy, shadowy Capricorns represented by the devil. Why do they have so much mental conflict and fear about investing in truth and love? Well, you can get hurt doing love, and some people are very defensive to doing love. I want to be in a relationship. I want to indulge myself in a relationship, but I don't want to become independent of my more self-protective, defensive nature. And because of that mental conflict they have, other people have mental conflict about staying in a relationship with them. Because the other people are focused on truth and love. Want to be in a more just, fair, balanced, authentic, loving relationship. And they can go get in new relationships. But if they get in relationships, again, with people who have hope and faith and belief and love, again, their truth is different. And why they want to be in it, and why they want to keep moving forward in the relationship is different. Are we ever going to become more independent of our fear and our insecurity and our defensiveness to really bring this dream into reality? And the other person's like, can't we just keep doing this? I have mental conflict about, some people could have mental conflict about getting in a more formal commitment because the King and Queen of Pentacles is the only married suit of the deck. Because part of it is it's not just where they have to take themselves into consideration. They would have to take other people into consideration. And some people got a lot of mental conflict about that. And then there's some people that could have been in loving relationships that were just and fair and balanced and would have seemed like their dreams were going to come into reality. They just maybe were more about the world, and the people they were in relationship were more about, that's our ego and our image. If we're putting in work and effort to be just and fair and balanced and loving and putting in work and effort in our dreams, we believe that these things will come and we'll have our own kind of victory and success in the world. But some people, shadowy energy can be that you're very competitive in the world. And some people were like, gee, I'd like to move forward with those people, but I don't know, will we have the status or the image, or will we have what some of these other people have? And then if someone comes along who might have those things of the world that they want, they could be willing to give up love and, again, maybe even get in relationships with people that they're not even really attracted to, but that person has those things of the world that they want. And then they could be hiding. They could have thought, again, like sex is love. I'm going to have sex with someone. I'll have sex with that person. And then they realize how overwhelming it is. And also their body parts might not work. Your more creative, inspired, authentic, passionate nature wants you to have a balance in your life. And some people thought they could discredit love because of these things of the world. And then they went to go try to do those things. And it's kind of like their Sagittarius energy said, I can't do this anymore. And it's kind of a sign that they should leave. But some of those people really have mental conflict about leaving because it looks like they've got these things of the world that they wanted. Like their dreams would come into reality here materialistically or in their ego. And they'd have to drop being so inspired by those things of the world, and they'd have to be more independent, get out of feeling overwhelmed about becoming single, and love and believe in themselves to not stay in situations, job, friendships, or relationships with people who it would seem like their dreams could come into reality. It looks like love, it quacks like love, but they're maybe really not authentically very loving, and people could feel like I'm missing an opportunity in love here. But because if there's someone who they think also maybe has mental conflict of being single and that person isn't going anywhere, some people's biggest fear is people walking away. I'd rather be in a relationship with someone who I do think is more sad or overwhelmed or immature or codependent, regardless of the negative situations in the relationship, because I don't think they're going anywhere. And that's the most important thing. Can you imagine? I'm going to try to get in a relationship with someone who I don't think will love and believe in themselves. And then I guess it will be more about me. And I might hide that I'm just kind of indulging myself in that relationship. And maybe the most important thing for some people, so long as I've got a sexual partner, that's the most important thing. Oh my God. I think these people, high vibe people, are going to have mental conflict staying in a relationship with them. And some of those people are going to pick up all their sticks and leave. And then these people are going to have mental conflict. And they might wonder, how did I miss that? When did this person heal and grow and mature themselves? When did they work through their mental conflict? When did they learn to love themselves and believe in themselves that they took off? And then this person will be hiding that they're kind of overwhelmed, that they're single. Some of them acted in ways that were bossy and controlling and immature and defensive trying to get the people they were in relationship with not to love and believe in themselves. And that was a risk they took. And the people in their life saw this isn't loving, and I'm leaving. Some of these people, the Five of Swords, could be people who want to win at all costs. And so then those people are really thinking, who can I get in a relationship with next? Oh, look, there's someone who's sad. Some of the loving people left my life. There's someone who's sad. I'll try to present myself as this just and fair and emotionally mature person to try to get them to move forward in a relationship with me. And they could be really overwhelmed because they acted in these more immature ways in previous relationships. And they might be hiding that they're kind of acting in some of those immature ways in the new relationship. You know, again, you're either being truthful and honest and authentic, or you're not. And you have all these fears or insecurities, or it's more about the ego or the image or the money, or it's all about you, and it's trying to manipulate and control people. Well, other people, you know, can put a lot of work and effort into a relationship to try to make it work. But you know, eventually other people see the truth about kind of what manipulates these people, even if they don't want to see the truth. I think you are more about yourself. I do think you are more materialistically driven. I do think you haven't learned to love yourself. I think you let the world and other people in your life kind of manipulate you. And, you know, until you become independent of those things and kind of heal and grow and mature yourself and learn to love yourself, I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. And some of those people still won't want to see the truth, and they'll still just go try to find someone else to manipulate and indulge themselves in. Still hiding. They're overwhelmed that other people do this work within themselves to get more balance within themselves, to work through all their fears and their insecurities, to heal from past pain and heartbreak and fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs. And they become independent of the past to move forward. And some people have this mental conflict of things that have happened in their past when people were defensive to them and were kind of bossy and controlling and immature or more materialistically driven and didn't love them. And they're still looking. Sometimes it's like trying to change other people. You know, we'll keep repeating an old pattern until we've kind of learned the lesson. We've all been in relationships with people who weren't very just and fair and loving, right? And we can get in relationships with people like that because we haven't seen the truth of it, of how that still manipulates us. And we'll kind of get in relationships and be drawn and attracted to people who might, to some degree, have some of those same ways of being. Like this time, that's us kind of being in our ego. This time I'm going to get someone who's like that to change, to love me, to heal and grow and mature for me because they love me and they see me and they value me. And then we chase after people who have some of those same kind of shadowy ways of being, hoping they'll change. And then we're in relationships with people like that and we're hoping, the fives talk about change, hoping they'll change. And then we realize, why am I putting in all this work and effort to try to change someone? They are who they are. They have the free will to live their life whatever way they want to live it. If they're immature, if they're defensive, if they're bossy, if they're controlling, if they're prideful, if they're egotistical, if they got addiction problems, if they haven't learned to love themselves. All I could do was offer people truth and love and encouragement and provide maybe a stable, safe environment. They had the opportunity to do this work within themselves, but some people don't, that's not their idea of the dream life. That they will never do this work within themselves to work through those issues because it's a free will choice and they could refuse to do it. I refuse to see the truth about things I should heal from and become independent of. And because of it, they keep staying in their mental conflict. They keep trying to find people who trying trying to change, or maybe in their ego, no, I don't need to change. Other people need to change. I would be someone way farther on the spectrum of kind of being full of themselves. And that's why everybody can kind of be loving, nurturing, supportive people. It's just that some people, it's more of a plan for ego and image and status purposes and to get someone to be in a relationship with them. Other people, they truly did want people to heal and grow and mature themselves. And you can be drawn and attracted to them because in a lot of ways, you're similar in that regard. It's just that when it gets to be where they have to work through their issues, then that's where they could draw the line. No, there's nothing I need to become independent of. Nothing I need to heal from. Nothing I need to see the truth of. Some people have a way of living life. They want to keep doing the same way of doing life. I don't ever want to become independent of this way of living life, viewing life. And other people, it's like, I've kind of completed the cycle. I've kind of learned everything I needed to learn at this phase of life. I'm ready to move forward to the next phase of life. Learn more lessons. And they're like, nope, I refuse to do that. I'm going to keep doing this. And so they keep doing that. And other people are like, I can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And they're like, why not? It looks good. It looks just. It looks fair. It looks like what a wonderful life we have. It's like, because we're not taking any creative, inspired action in our life and listening to our intuition. It's like become like dead energy. It's just same old thing, indulging in the same old things. And it's just maybe become more about the status or the image. And there's just no spark of life to it. And if that's how you want to live your life, that's great. That's not for me. So I wish you peace in love, but I'm moving forward. If that's not your truth, then you keep doing this. You just have to find someone else to do it with. And I'm going to go communicate my truth to people who I do think are more on the same page as me. And the people who want to move forward with me have to be people who see the truth that it's supposed to be about love. And part of love is like growing to your full potential and facing your fears and shedding old ways of being and moving forward in life and listening to your intuition. But some people like to stay in their comfort zone because they know how everything works there, and that can be kind of a controlling aspect. If I were to step out of my comfort zone, that is unknown territory, and then I would just have love and intuition to guide me. And I'm uncomfortable with that because it's kind of out of my way I viewed of living life. It's like, that's fine, then keep living your life like this. But, you know, some people stay, is kind of like in this time warp of how they view the world, how they view relationships, and other people don't want to keep living in that time warp like they do, and they could have a harder time finding someone who wants to be in jobs or relationships like, well, we pay you this and it's a good job and it's good benefits. It's like, yeah, but you guys seem to have mental conflict of being supportive and encouraging of people being more independent or being more creative or inspired. And, you know, I'm sure you get the idea. So there you go, Cancer. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.